This is the Crisscross Show. Before I start my show, I'd love to go over what I'm going to be talking about today. So, first, I'm going to be talking about reasonable free agent moves. Um, Also, some ridiculous reasons to stay slash bad signings from free agents. I'm going to go over paying Dak and why I think Jerry Jones should pay Dak. The NBA dynamic duos. I'm going to name you my top 15. Going over episodes 5 and 6 of The Last Dance. And last but not least, I'd love to go down memory lane with you guys. All right, so going on to my first segment. Reasonable free agent moves. I got 7 of them. I'm going to name all 7 to you, starting from number 7 all the way to number 1. You can agree or disagree with me. Number 7, Kawhi to the Clippers. Again, I didn't like this move, but I thought it was reasonable because, again, Kawhi could have easily stayed with the Raptors and ran it back easily. You know, maybe head into the Eastern Conference Finals or head into the finals with that Raptors team. I think that Raptors team is talented from top to bottom. But again, I think Kawhi is chasing 3 rings, 3 different places, just like LeBron is. So I can see that being a reason to go to the Clippers. And plus, good organization as well. Number 6, Jimmy to Miami. Again, Jimmy Butler is known for his toughness. Miami is known for their toughness. Enough said with that one. Number 5, a lot of people don't really know about this one. In my opinion, I thought it was a good move. Edwin Encarnacion moved to the Indians. Again, the Indians were winning at the time. They just came off a World Series run. Edwin Encarnacion, obviously known for big hitting, went to a team that needed some big hitting and that was winning. So obviously I can, understand that. Number 4, Kemba leaving Charlotte to go to Boston. Again, Kemba couldn't get a consistent winning season in Charlotte. Obviously, the organization couldn't put winning around him, so obviously I can understand him leaving. He wants to win. Number 3, LeBron to Miami. 7 seasons, 5 playoff runs, 1 finals appearance. You have a young prime LeBron that's basically been good since he got into the league. You couldn't surround him with talent. You couldn't surround him with complementary players. I mean, I don't get it. I understand why he left to Miami. That's just it. I mean, that's just really it for number 3. Number 2, Tom Brady leaving New England. Obviously, a lot of people were shocked. I wasn't shocked. He had beef with Bill Belichick. Obviously, there was a couple controversy things with Bill Belichick wanting to replace him with Jimmy Garoppolo and other good stuff. So, I can see him leaving, and I'm happy for him. Number 1, I didn't like this move when it first happened. Kevin Durant to the Warriors. Again, he wasn't winning with Oklahoma City. He knew it as well. He wanted to win. He wanted to win championships, and he did with Golden State. He would have won a three-peat if he was healthy. Those are my reasonable free agency moves. I thought it's pretty simple. Obviously, they're biased. They're ones based on my opinion. I mean, if you have some baseball ones, you have some football ones, feel free to comment. But I just gave you ones that I thought were reasonable. Moving on to the ridiculous reasons to stay / bad signings of free agents or draftees. Now this one, again, is solely my opinion. And again, I understand these players when they say, I want to win with this or that or this, or they're just chasing the money. So, number 8, Dennis Smith Jr. drafted high. I think it was number 7 by Dallas. Everyone loved him. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, Dennis Smith. I didn't like it because all he can do is dunk, literally. And again, I was right on this. I was never high on Dennis Smith Jr. I mean, he's bounced around a couple of times. He's in the Knicks. He's not in the Knicks. I don't know where he's at. Dallas gave up on him after a year or so. I wasn't surprised. A whiff of a draft pick. Number 7, Foles to the Jaguars. Again, it's bad on the Jaguars to get a super sub like Nick Foles. I don't know why they paid him a lot of money. Again, Nick Foles took the money. But Jaguars, it was kind of a ridiculous move to kind of just move off Blake Bortles. Number 6, Brock Osweiler, 4 years, $72 million. I thought it was a bad move on the Houston Texans because the Houston Texans signed him and then gave up on him after a year. Again, I never understood the logic of that. Took him away from obviously the Denver Broncos because he had a spectacular 8-game stretch. So that's just my opinion on that. Number 5 probably should be number 1. Bryce Harper 26 years old, took a 13-year, $330 million contract for the Philadelphia Phillies. I think it's ridiculous because 13 years is too much. If he did a 7-year, $25 million per year contract, I don't know how much that adds up to be. I would have been okay with that. But he's doing 13. 13. I mean, I can't even do 13 with my own hands. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know really what to say about that. I mean, a ridiculous contract. Number 4, Ezekiel Elliott being paid the highest running back at the moment. I think Christian McCaffrey's that now, but Ezekiel Elliott, since he signed that contract, his yards per game have gone down, his total yards have gone down, his receptions have gone down. Again, I think some players just care about getting the money and they go, oh, I can be bad. So, I don't know. I don't really get it. Number 3, Paul George staying with Oklahoma City Thunder. We all know how that worked out. Damian Lillard sent them home with the buzzer-beating 3 to end the series in his face. Obviously, I thought it was ridiculous. Paul George stayed because he wanted to win in Oklahoma City. That's what they all say. They want to win in the city or whatever. So a year later, he was traded to the Clippers. Number 2 and number 1 are very, very similar. Number 2 is Damian Lillard, and number 1 is Bradley Beal. 2 guys who were like, I want to win where I was drafted, or I want to do this, I want to do that. Look, I get it that you want to win where you got drafted. But the places you got drafted in are proven to not bring players to complement you. Portland couldn't keep LaMarcus Aldridge. Washington, they can't keep John Wall healthy. And I just think it's ridiculous that these 2 guys sign like this ridiculous amount of money and then they go, yeah, I want to win here. Well, you want to win, but you want to take all the money you can get. Never really understood that. I mean, you're creating no cap space for your franchise. I don't really know how that translates to winning. It just kind of translates to wanting to, fill the pockets. So, those are my ridiculous reasons to say / bad signings. All right, number 3 on my list is paying Dak. Again, I think they should pay Dak whatever he wants, because I think Dak is a proven football player. Came into an unwinnable situation. Tony Romo breaks his back. You're expected to just kind of sit on the bench all year, basically. He handles the drama. He handles the Zeke drama. He handles the Jerry Jones drama. He handled the Tony Romo situation really well. And 2 division titles in 4 years, won a playoff game. I just think he's proven himself too much to the point where Jerry Jones just wants him to have a better season, apparently. Again, we'll see this year with Mike McCarthy for Dak. I don't think they're going to pay him until next year, until maybe he proves a little bit more. But I just think they should pay him just because I think Dak is a really good player. I like Dak. He maybe not be a top 10 quarterback in the league right now, but he's definitely up there at 11 and 12. So again, he's made the playoffs 2 of his 4 years, and he's been pretty good at it. So I mean, I can't really say much. Just pay him. Number 4 on my list is obviously the NBA dynamic duos. I don't really want to get into them. I'll get into some. I just want to kind of number them down. So number 15 would obviously be Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell. Number 14 would be DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker. And for this one, I think they can really do some damage in the next 2 to 3 years in the Western Conference as, teams start to get older, like Kawhi and the Clippers are getting older. The Lakers are getting older. I just think they're going to be the new rising toy. James Harden and Russell Westbrook, how long are they going to be good for? I just think that those 2 guys can really bring it up. Number 13 is Luca and Kristaps Porzingis. Again, the international duo is pretty good. 12, Oladipo and Sabonis. We know how those 2 perform well when they're healthy. Number 11, John Wall and Bradley Beal. Again, they had their years where they were good. I still think they can have at least 2 more years where they're pretty good in the East. Number 10, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Enough said. Russell Westbrook and James Harden at number 9. Again, they haven't really proven anything in the playoffs other than that they, kind of gas out. Number 8, Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker. I think that'll be a scary duo, at least for the next 3 years. Number 7, Jokic and Jamal Murray. I think that they can be really good as they get older. I mean, they've been pretty decent the past couple years, so they can only get better from here. They're 2 young players. Number 6 is something that should be probably higher, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. They're obviously not higher because they're just drama. They're just dramatic. Number 5, Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, obviously going to the Western Conference Finals last year. Pretty decent duo when they're both healthy and shooting well. Number 4 and number 3, obviously they never played this year, and this is basically based on this year. Number 4 is Steph and Clay. Number 3 is KD and Kyrie. Those 2 duos have not played together all year, and I think that really shows how good they are because they're that high without playing with each other this year. So again, huge compliments to that duo, and I think next year those 2 duos, they're going to start scoring some buckets and winning some games. Number 2 is PG and Kawhi. Again, second best duo. 2 good perimeter defenders. Can't really say much about that. Number 1, obviously I'm a little biased. LeBron and AD, best record in the West, was looking like they were going to win the finals. I mean, I can't really dispute that. They just look like they were winning, and that's my dynamic duos, since we are in the age of the dynamic duos. Alright, so obviously I got to watch episodes 5 and 6 of the documentary today. I missed it yesterday because I was watching Batwoman and Supergirl. But Michael Jordan brought up 2 good things, or 2 topics that kind of hit home to me. So first one is politics, where they kind of brought up a case where he didn't want to support someone, and then he said the infamous quote of "Republicans buy sneakers too." And, obviously Michael Jordan's never been known to be a political person. Obviously, I think a couple years ago when Donald Trump said something to LeBron, and then Michael responded saying, "I agree with LJ." Kind of was like a quiet quote, not a quote that we'd expect from like a big mega time star. Again, I'm a person who doesn't like getting into politics because I don't like arguing about politics. I think politics is important, but just getting into the whole thing, I don't believe in arguing about it because I think you can't sway someone's opinion when they're, when they have a high opinion on something. Like, if someone's a Republican, you can't, as a Democrat, you can't just, try to sway them the other way, I don't think it works that way. And again, I think Michael Jordan is smart enough to know that he was protecting his brand. He won't say that he was protecting his brand, but I think he was protecting his brand by not getting into that. Some people like me won't get into politics regardless of it because I just think it's such a sensitive topic, especially now. If someone goes out and says that they support Trump, people will call them all these different names just because they support Trump. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that, if you support, like Obama or Trump, that you're this type of person. I think you are what you are based on your attitude, not on, specifically on what you believe in with politics. Issues is gambling issues. Again, my one question is, did he lose his wife? Did he lose his money? And was his life ruined by his gambling issues? It wasn't. He's still a billionaire. I'm pretty sure he was very, very smart with his gambling issues. And I think people have these narratives of what they expect us to be. Like, everyone's going to have an opinion of you and what they expect of you to do. We all have these, images of each other. Like, some people have these images that, I saw him act like this. Now, if I see him act like a certain way, he's gonna be different. So I just think that, we all have our hobbies. We're all entitled to our hobbies. Um, I mean, like me, I do a YouTube channel and nobody watches it. I mean, is it destroying anything? Is it not, is it taking me away from anything that I do important? No, I think I do my thing, my work first, and then I, focus on this. So, he wasn't ruining anything. Obviously, his gambling obviously wasn't an issue because he's still a billionaire. So, again, those are two things, and I never really agree with Michael Jordan. Just because I never really watched him. So I really have no opinion on it, but I think those two things were well said, and two things that I can highly relate to, based on this episode. All right, so my last segment is walking down memory lane to last year. So last year I was graduating college. I was finishing up my student teaching. Now, kind of going over my student teaching, a lot of people look at student teaching like this humongous obstacle that, is damn near impossible to complete, right? I remember, whenever we do like those meetups from my college to kind of talk about how student teaching's going, everyone was always like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so stressed. I'm doing this, I'm doing that." And I don't know if it's just me that I've never been like a person that expresses stress or is stressed a lot. But I wasn't really relating to a lot of these other students' stories. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh my gosh, it's tough. It's this, it's that, it's this, it's that," and I'm over here like I'm having the time of my life. Like I again, planning is something of how you make of it. Again, I can comment. I'll compliment my student teachers. I think they helped me out with everything I needed. I didn't struggle a lot, and I'm pretty sure my fellow classmates, they didn't struggle. They didn't, they had all the support from, their student teachers or their teachers as well. I had a blast. I thought my professor for student teaching was great. I thought my teachers were great. I had a great support system. And I didn't struggle. And I thought, student teaching was a blast, and I didn't have a lot of stressing time about it. But again, my student teaching was just great. I'm not going to complain about it. Yes, there are hard days, but like I said, you get past those hard days. It's how you bounce back from hard days. It's not about like a lot of people like to look at it like how you respond to a situation compared to what's your initial reaction. Again, graduation time was last year. Everyone's not going to get to graduate walking down stage, which is something that's huge. I know for me, I wanted a certain pair of shoes to walk down stage with, just because I didn't want to do the whole gown thing. I didn't want to do anything else. I wanted to wear a certain pair of shoes. And you can take a look at the pair of shoes right here. All right, so the reason why I wanted to walk down in those pair of shoes is because, first of all, they're LeBron's, and second of all, they're the Super Bronze, which is basically the Superman shoe of LeBron. And obviously, me being named after Christopher Reeve, which is the original Superman, I wanted to, kind of pay homage. So again, I didn't want to do the whole cap and gown thing where I customize it. I wanted to walk down stage wearing a comfortable pair of shoes that I thought maybe some people would recognize me for it, kind of smirk or laugh a little bit. I mean, I know how boring graduation can be, like the whole speeches and everything. It's an exciting time, but again, there are some parts of the graduation that do drag a little bit more than that. But again, I just wanted to walk down stage with a nice, comfortable pair of shoes. I wanted to have fun with it. I want to, in the next 20 years, be like, for my college graduation, this is how I walked out. So, obviously, I wanted to be out of the normal with that. And that's pretty much it. That's just me going down memory lane of my graduation time. and my year at least around that time, because I felt like my entire year was revolved around student teaching, was revolved around, okay, how do I build off of this? How do I build off of that? Obviously, I had a great support system that kind of helped me out. And it was obviously all co-taught, so it was a little bit easier back then than it is now. But that's just kind of a little bit of a summary on last year at this time. All right, so to kind of sum it up, I went over some free agency signings that I liked and didn't like, NBA dynamic duos, why the Cowboys should pay Dak, my reflection and me agreeing with Michael Jordan on episodes 5 and 6. Obviously, walking down memory lane is a segment I want to do. Just like Time Hop will give you in this time, in this day in history. They give you like a timeline of what you said or did. In that specific day. I kind of wanted to pay homage to the whole, Time Hop or Facebook memories, stuff like that. But I just wanted to go down my graduation week basically and how it felt to graduate. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like and subscribe, and until next time.